Hi, and welcome to the Retirement Railroad Friday live and mail call. Of course, just as always, we are live from first order of business today. Before we get roll, rolling and going, is for the last 5 months I've been playing Oklahoma Hillbilly without any teeth, but as of yesterday, I have teeth. My wife doesn't have to grind up my meals anymore, so that's a good thing. And of course, joining me from the east end of I-40.
Good
Hey,
morning,
John, how you doing
all.
today?
Oh, I'm just resting. Been busy week here, so sitting back
Yeah,
working on some of my scratch builds or kit bashes, which
I can't
we'll have
wait
some
to
pictures of.
get into
But
those pictures. So,
yeah, well, it's
and
rained. It's rained here all week, so what else is there to do but work on your train?
yeah, and joining us from the left coast, filling in for our Malcolm in the Middle, Jason, the train freak. We have our buddy Lynn.
Good morning, Lynn.
Good morning.
Did that music come through?
That
Yes, it
came
did.
through. Yes.
It
Yep.
did on
Okay,
our
good.
side.
Yeah, I heard it.
I'm sure it did for our viewers as well. Let's go ahead and go. Let me go through the roll call before we get rolling out here. Floyd Robbins from Ontario gets the proverbial cookie, followed by Lynn, actually. And then our tax man is back, John, Schuylkill River Valley. Hey, John, good to have
Hello,
you
John.
back.
Never
Hope
enough
things are
Johns.
hope things are winding down for you. Then JD, Grandpa Rails from the Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex. Uh, we got here and 3Dub Wigwag Workshop. Hey, Stephen, how you doing? Glad you could make it today. And I think that's it for right now. So,
Okay.
and John, uh, John Schuylkill River Valley says, "Yep, he's all done." So that's a good deal. But did you do your own taxes yet, John? So
Probably not.
yeah, no kidding, no kidding. So anyway, Lynn, you had sent me a bunch of neat pictures. And what the, oh, there they are. So tell me what you are up to this week, Lynn.
Well, one of our club members has this problem with building modules. He's the one that builds the battleships, the aircraft carrier, the space shuttle, the Civil War scene, the NASCAR track. It goes on and on and on. We were joking with him last week that if he put all of his modules together, he'd have well over 100 feet. This is all HO. And
Hmm.
these are all pretty much handmade. But he had an invitation to display his space shuttle at the museum in town. And we're in the Antelope Valley, and the Skunk Works is literally right down the street. That's where they built the SR-71, the B-1 bombers, the space shuttle. And of course, a lot of that went out to Edwards, which is just north of here, Edwards Air Force Base. So the space shuttle is a combination of kits and some custom built. But he wanted to pick that up for one of their grand openings or reopenings or whatever in a couple of weeks, and he wanted to get it dusted off and in shape. And then May 4th, we got a little train show at the Elks Lodge in combination with a car show that they have there. So he just told me he wanted to go out to my son's place out in the middle of the desert and pick up a couple of things. Well, when we get there, the couple of things are at the back of the containers. Now, one is a shipping container. The other is a U-Haul truck that my son got for free. Doesn't run. It's never going to run, but it's got this really big box in the back that's be able to secure with ramps and stuff. So we get out there to get these two items. The picture right there is the stuff loaded up as we were getting ready to leave. The big box you see right there is the battleship. The back of my truck, there's a picture. I don't know if Steve's got them all lined up or not, but he filled the back of my truck too. Now that's part of the spaceship and the miscellaneous ships that he's going to put in the show. 4 hours because he and his son, I stood back and watched. My back isn't that good, and this isn't my rodeo. This is his. He literally had to empty out the U-Haul truck and move everything in the container to get out the two items. Remember, two. As you can see, there's 3 big boxes. There's 2 crates in front of those boxes. The truck, all the modules, you know. So I got home about 8:30 last night, and we started out at 4 in the afternoon. So that was our day. That was kind of interesting. So there you can see one of the containers in the background there. There's a couple of other pictures I sent Steve. Anyway, that's what we did yesterday afternoon.
Fun.
Oh, yeah. That's Benny and his son. There's the stuff he had to take out of the trailer to get to the 2 items that he wanted to bring. And then all that had to go back in the container and the U-Haul truck. There's the container. So, yeah, that's how many. There's the space shuttle. When it's activated, the smoke on the side all lights up. He's got a soundtrack with the actual countdown from NASA. And you hear the rockets all kick in and stuff like that. That's going into the museum. And then the battleship, there's the battleship. And all you see around it, plus miscellaneous vessels, that's going to be in the train show in a few weeks. So that's what I'm up to, or what I did yesterday.
Cool.
Yeah, Lynn, I've seen some of your videos before at some of your events where the military models are just fantastic. That I know he's done most of them, but you said earlier that some other people have done the military models, but they're done very well.
We have a member that he has an unusual job. He travels all over the United States. I'll get messages. He'll be in Ohio. The next day he's in Florida. The next day he's in Delaware. Next day he's in Denver. He literally writes government contracts between the military and the different manufacturers. And he prefers, I'm not sure his name, but he does the other military setup. He has a whole setup of when Patton was practicing to go into Africa, which was down by Salton Sea in California. Salton Sea is an accidental lake sea below sea level, so it's very salty, really nasty. You can't drown. You float, everything. Dead fish, everything floats in it. But
yeah, my dad told me that about the Great Salt Lake, and guess what? I couldn't float.
Salton Sea, I don't even want to get in it. It smells. But that is where Patton practiced with their tanks and everything before going to Africa, World War II. So he does a whole mock-up of that, and then of course he has the trains unloading. And then if you've seen any of the videos, you've seen his trains with the cab forwards pulling these really long military trains.
Yep. I remember seeing that because I think I commented on that video. How long was that train? And it was, I can't remember how many cars you said, but it was long.
I've had other people comment trying to count. I think somewhere between 50 and 60 cars.
Yeah. Because I would lose count because I was too busy looking at the actual vehicles on the train.
We have one video from the Fairplex. Fairplex is the fairgrounds and everything for Los Angeles County. It's not in LA, but it's in LA County. In fact, the big boy that they just restored came from the Fairplex. Plus, they have other full-size trains parked there, a big G-scale layout, a bunch of other stuff. We did one show there that was probably our second largest. And the guys, just for the fun of it, they hooked up a cab forward in the front, a cab forward in the back, the military train, and any kind of boxcar, a bunch of mine, everything that kind of fit in with the era. And the whole thing, I believe, measured in the neighborhood between 60 and 70 feet long. And that one got so much attention that it was in the news. There was news articles. I had people calling me up. Hey, you guys were on the news tonight.
Yep. It
So
was
Steve,
definitely impressive. I
So
see
what,
we
Len?
had Hi come in.
Yep.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah.
Hi.
We always got a hi to hi.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
I've got one of his stickers laying around here somewhere. Yeah.
Well, I've been a little busy this week too. As I
think
said,
this is where we kind of left off last week was with
well,
this, wasn't it?
yes, but the fascia board was not painted at that time.
Oh, okay.
If you remember, that was all the underlayment plywood that I have decided I use for underneath my foam on the main boards, and then I decided to use it for the fascia board also. So here I have painted this. This is called Onyx Black. It's a semi-flat, semi-gloss, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I use the satin on mine.
It's a real nice black. It takes, believe it or not, this black takes several coats to get it to really be black. I just picked up a can of pre-mixed Glidden paint at Walmart, so I was very happy to get that done. It looks a lot better. I had thought about staining / polyurethaning it a wood color, but I like the black. And this is a good picture. Also shows my cheap overhead lights from Harbor Freight. These are the ones that you can link 8 of them together. They're 5,500 lumens each. So I noticed I went outside last night, and with my curtains pulled open, I light up the entire whole side yard with all the light coming out the window. But I sure needed it. All I had before was 2 little 75-watt light bulbs in the middle of the ceiling, and that just was not getting it. So I just got some of those screw-in plugs that you can put in light sockets, and then I had to get the gray adapters from 2 to 3 prong, and it works. But there you can see over there in the center, I'm working a little bit on the roundhouse, working on the board, the base of it, which is quite a task, and I've got some more pictures in there. Here's the turntable. It hasn't been weathered yet. I'm painting that something that Jason Jensen suggests, and it is chalk paint, which I love. And this is actually cocoon.
Hmm.
And it looks like a weathered, and see, it gives you some texture. So when I do go to weather it, it'll be able to pick up a lot of that. And since then, I don't have a close-up picture, but my rail that the roundhouse is supposed to run on, I took a pencil and rubbed across the top to make it look like the steel on top wasn't rusted. It's subtle, but at least I know I did it.
Good.
And there's some more work on the roundhouse. The first 6 stalls was the one that I bought that was used, so it's a little different color of concrete. I'm gonna leave it that way because I'm gonna say that the first 6 stalls was the first construction, and the next 12 stalls is new construction or newer construction. So I'll handle it that way. Okay. And here's just another look from the other side. Cutting out all those pits was it was the pits.
I was going to
Um,
say pits.
I could cut them fine, but it was getting them out of there because I did have them glued down with liquid nail and
You know what works
yeah,
great for that?
the moto tool, the
Yeah,
vibrating.
the
Yeah, well,
oscillating tool, and then a large flathead screwdriver to scrape it out with.
either that or a wood chisel. But remember, it was all my tools are out in my shed, and it was raining pretty hard, so I did this all with
And I know
a
you and I know you would melt if you got wet. So
yeah. Well, it was raining hard enough. I didn't want to go out. I'm getting old, so I don't want to catch cold.
No, we don't want that.
But yeah, it's coming along. Okay, next picture, please.
everybody's telling you how good it looks.
Now, when I originally put on the fascia board, I just used finishing nails. But I found out real quickly that the finishing nails don't hold too well in that thin 5 millimeter uh, underlayment. So I went ahead and bought some of the finish washers and some torque head, flathead screws and put in there. And
You know
it doesn't look bad. And
they make
since this
truck
picture
head
was,
lathe screws.
yeah, well, I like the,
That's all in one.
yeah.
And
Also, you can get the oval head screws. Yeah, they're for like chicken wire and stuff. Yep.
so,
I didn't see them where I went. But since then, in between those two set of screws on the left and the next two down the run, I've added in my turntable control box for one side over here, and then I'll have another one on the other side too.
that
So I
works. That'll
don't
be good.
I don't have to jump back and forth in between sides just to run the
Yeah,
roundhouse.
and yeah, because you're a duck under. You don't want to have to duck under two things every time you want to.
Well, and my duck under the bottom of it is like 48 inches, so it's not real hard to duck under. Um,
It would be for me.
well, yeah, you're older than me, so but
Ooh.
but
Yeah, but you're just remember you're going to get to be my age too.
yeah, but I'll never catch up to you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, but yeah, I think it turned out pretty well. I had a couple missed screws that I had to redo. I was trying to figure out the measurements that I could use for all the different ones. Like the duck unders, the sides are higher, so I couldn't measure down from the top and get the exact same measurement. So when I transferred it over to the flat, I drilled a wrong hole. I gotta fix that. But luckily, I still have some of the paint.
It
And I
happens.
noticed also where two of my panels meet, uh, they're not quite strong enough, so I'm gonna have to take and glue a piece behind it to hold them in alignment. But all in all, it turned out pretty good. And
Yeah,
this
looks
is a
good.
long curved section around the end
Yep.
with all its screws in it, and then down the south side aisle. So it it's coming along. I really did get a lot of work done the last 2 weeks.
So you've been running any
Probably
trains yet?
I have run a train. I ran it on camera last week. Um,
I mean,
um,
have you been running trains, not just?
uh, no, I've been working on it.
Uh,
I start after I have my coffee in the morning and finish
I'd get
about
one of your
7 o'clock at night.
I'd get one of your 210-2s out there to be testing one.
Yeah, the one I want to run on it. I have to find the blanking chip for it. I can't find the blanking chip. I don't know where I put it. Um, so right now it doesn't have a DCC chip in it. So here I'm working on re-gluing the tracks in. Oh, this is a new one. So this I was working on putting the tracks in, and I can tell you, stripping all those ties back for what is it? It's 80, 23 or 32 and 0.8 millimeters, or yeah, centimeters. So it's quite a distance to get those ties off. I had to cut off all the nails that go in that hold the actual ties on. So it took me quite some time. I took this time also to weather the ties before I mounted it into the section. So here I've just super glued in the rails and got the weights on there to hold them down, have good contact. Okay. And there I have actually finished installing all the rails. And I ran into one problem. Again, I thought I could use all the exact same measurements, but the roundhouse, even though it's put in the proper position, it you still need to have some extra rail on the end of it so you can cut those rails flush with the end of the roundhouse. So anybody doing a roundhouse, don't ever take the measurements exactly, add some at the end so you can cut off the rails at the turntable.
And don't
It
forget
worked.
to file and bevel those rails on the after you cut them. You
Hmm.
want to bevel. You want to bevel the ends of them.
Yes.
All
And
right, so
that
that
just takes some time. If you look straight from the caulking gun straight in towards the roundhouse, you'll see three tracks there that don't have ties in the center of them. That's because I had to extend those rails, and
uh,
that wasn't fun. Um, to get that shortest section, I got rail joiners on them and then soldered them. So now I'm going to have to go back and add some ties in there to get it looking right again. But yeah, you learn things when you're doing
Yep.
these big projects. Um, I found myself going considerably faster as I got closer to the end than I was when I first started. But that took probably 2.5 days to get all those rails put into the roundhouse and get it set in. Um, but it looks pretty good. Here's
you
from the
haven't
other side.
Your turntable's not working yet, is it?
No, no, I have that other problem of I still can't find the power supply for it.
Uh,
Yeah, it's probably in the box with all my DCC connections that I still need to
can't find.
find. Also, in this picture, you'll see that I've got some old cat treat containers. That's my ballast that I'm using natural ballast for. I get it off a side of one of the cuts through the mountain, and I I've just been taking sifters and grading it to different grades of material. I've got some that's almost powder that I'll probably use for like gravel parking lots. But
Cool.
if it's free, it's for me.
There you go.
And this is a little project since I have well, I bought 5 additional roundhouse kits and the old style roundhouse kits from Walthers. They don't come with the expansion packs. So you're basically buying 5 more 3-stall roundhouses. So you have the extra ends, and I decided that I would take a little hint from Steve and make some background buildings. So if you can think about those, small building is the 2 pieces that would have gone on the inside edge of the bigger building because the front slope and the back slope are at 2 different heights. So um, I decided I'm going to make a bunch of background buildings and I can modify these different ways each time. If you notice the small one on the left, that should have been a window there on the right hand side, but I took and cut out the bottom and moved it to the top, and that will be the doorway to that building. So just a little kit bashing there and making some background flats. It still has to be painted and finished and detailed, and I'll probably put some signs on it and do something with it. And there's the roundhouse with it's been installed. I've got my lead-in tracks coming into it. I'll probably have one more, but I've got to construct my water tower, my coaling tower, and the sanding uh, place yet, so I can get the track alignments set up for that. So
Now, are you
that
at any point gonna put any more stalls down here in the lower section, just shorter?
No, I'm planning on just making some open tracks there. I've got a crane section. It's not a gantry crane, but the crane that would go over 2 tracks so they can lift up heavy things. I'm
That would be
gonna,
a gantry crane.
well, yeah, but it's not the big gantry cranes. It's not for lifting the Connex boxes or anything. It's just a small little work gantry, I'll call it then. But I'm gonna have a bunch of open tracks there. I'll probably have some diesels setting down in that area, and then I made that one little short track there for my way car. And Steve, didn't you get that for me, or did I find that
No,
someplace?
you found that over at
Oh, that.
Zitnik,
Oh, that's
and
right.
you
Yeah,
you're gonna look for another one for me, but they didn't have any more.
yeah. But I got that sitting over there. That's a good little spot for it. And just about
Yeah,
any of the engines could pull it out of that area because it's real
and
short.
that's the Walters 110.
Yes, it is. Yeah, with 18 stalls. I did, however, if you notice the one stall that's sort of black in the center, I lost one of the pits and I couldn't find it. So I said, well, maybe they didn't have them every one with a pit in it. So I just took a piece of, yard sale sign and glued it to the bottom. Then I painted it a gray and then
There
I
you go.
spilled some oil in it.
Hmm.
So I'll probably have some guys in there, with brooms and shovels trying to clean up the oil, because each one of these stalls is going to be lit. So this is a big project here. Not only am I going to make sure that every track has a switch, except for the two that's pretty dead center to the top. Those are in the non-power zone where the bridge cuts off. So, but
You can
they'll
always
still
put
have.
dummy engines in there.
Yeah, I've got a plastic model engine that I'll set in there for one, and then I've got an old 282 Camelback that doesn't run that I'm gonna set in the other stall, and so there'll be a static display there inside, and then there's my two lead-in tracks, and then up there where they connect to the turnout, there's another turnout on the right-hand side of that will be another one coming down to the roundhouse, and that's the two tracks that I need to configure for my water tower, my coaling tower, sanding. I can't remember station, and then probably the final one will be the diesel service with the fuel station, and so I've got to get those things built before I put those in, and to make sure I have a good alignment for them.
Cool.
So
Amen.
that was my work for the last week.
Good. Got a lot more done than I did.
Well, you got a lot more completed than I do. There's a
No,
difference there.
I'm talking about the modules that I have out in the garage that I'm
Oh,
working on.
okay, yeah. Well, I didn't do much of anything else. Um, I'd love to have been outside working, but yeah, I don't work well in rain.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I've been fairly busy myself. And does anybody have any mail calls besides me?
well, I did about the only thing I did is I bought 10 pieces of Atlas Flex Trap Code 83.
Ah,
So
okay.
that was my big buy for the week. The rest of the month
Big
is going
buy.
to be pretty non-buying things.
I had a little mail call.
Mm-hmm.
You did.
I made a little mistake. I'm using the word little, literally. I'm always watching eBay and all the different sites for a good deal. And I saw this RS3 Rio Grande DCC HO, had a little cosmetic damage to it, but not much. Really cheap. Well, to me, really cheap. And so I bid on it. Nobody else bid. Took about a week to get here. Came in the other day. Great big box. Big box. Okay. And I opened it up and lots of packing, and it kept getting smaller and smaller. A whole bunch of bubble wrap, and I unwrapped it, and here's this little end scale.
I
And
did that once.
I looked back at the thumbnail or whatever you want to call it for the deal, and it described it all in the number and said HO. So I was going to dispute it. Then I went down, and then they have a full description and all the way down telling all the detail about it. And at the very, very bottom in little print says end scale. So
Oh,
it was
gee.
my fault. I wrote to them, and it is a company that I've bought before. They pick up trains from estate sales, stuff like that, recondition them,
Right.
and sell them. I don't know if I should share the name or not, but others have bought stuff from them too. So there's this guy, I don't see him here this morning, lives in Manhattan on the Hudson, that has this big end scale layout. And
In a little room.
I go, hey, human, would you be interested He was like, yeah. And I said, it's in the mail. It was interesting. I'm looking at the big box that came in. I'm going, that's really wasteful. And then I have these kits that my stepdaughter gave me that fold up, and they make a fairly small box. That was too big. So then I went to my stash of boxes for mini prints and found one that was more reasonable. So I packed it all up, labeled it and everything, took it to Mail and More, and the girl takes it and puts it in a great big bag. So one of these days, some guy
Actually,
back
make sure they don't lose it.
is going to get a box and a bag. So, and I'm sure he'll share it maybe next week because it is. I told him, I said, no hurry shipping it. And I said, take your time. So it took 2 days just to get out of California. So who knows? I think it says around, April 16th or 17th when it might reach him. So, so not
well, you've been busy. You've been busy because you did that one to he.
Yeah.
And you did the one last week to me. And then I saw you did another one for Jason.
Oh, yeah. And I've sent some to John from Scoville. Dennis has some. Bill has, not Bill. What's the other one on Sidetrack? Not Sidetracked, but Back on Track. I've sent them cars and so forth.
Claude, Dennis, Jerry.
But I got this.
Oh, on Sidetrack. You got Ray, John, Nisi, Ray, John.
Nisi, hers was hand delivered. Jason Friend took it over to her house.
No, okay.
But I've got this for the last 10, 20 years, just collecting, getting more and more. And I buy and bid on a lot of what they call lots, LOTS, where you got a box of stuff and you just go, hey, bid on this box. And you look through there and go, I'd like that, and that, but you got to get the whole thing. So I've got shelves, I've got boxes over here just full of stuff. The garage is full of stuff. And there's one big box up there. By the way, I got the roof fixed. There was a leak right up there. So like with Jason, the train freak, he was doing his thing on his lumber. And I'm looking through the box when I was looking for the cars, and that's where I found your stuff. It's just up there in the box. I forget it's up there. It's covered in dust. It's been up there so long. What good is it doing me where it might do you and everybody else something? So I see somebody needs something, or I think they might want something. I just ship it. Yes, it costs $5, $10, $20 maybe.
I need DCC chips.
Careful what you ask for, because if I can find it, there's a box down here with some Digitrack chips. For a project that I couldn't find when I did the project, so I got more. So, well, Ron from Classic Model Trains. He did a steam engine I sent him, and he said going through the box of stuff, he found an old engine in there that had a chip in it. So he took the chip and put it in the steam engine. I'm like, there was a chip in that box?
And he did a video on putting that chip in the steam engine.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. And that steam engine was from you, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Again, I've got more. There's another one.
Yeah, I really like watching Ron because I like that he works on all the older engines.
And his humor is quite something too.
Yes, it is.
And that's him. So here's this little thing. I have.
Ooh.
Wonder why.
Hang on.
Steve, did you hurt yourself?
I'm getting ready to. Ooh.
Okay, I guess I know where this is going. Now it's DC.
Not to be a beggar, but that is my railroad.
I found this at a yard sale out in the middle of nowhere. I got a message from this lady. She says, My husband passed away a few years ago. He collected all these trains. Come take a look at
What
them.
is
Now,
that?
originally,
What
and this,
what was
this
that?
is
Is
when I
that
was in Montana at Ron's
is
place.
that a 282? What is that?
No, it's
It's
a 280.
280.
280. Yeah, consolidated. Okay.
So you don't want it
What's
because it's 280, not a 282?
no, 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 no. I
Oh,
want it.
if he doesn't
What's the
want it,
road?
I want it.
What's the road number?
641.
Good. Okay. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah,
See,
yeah,
Lynn,
yeah, yeah.
I always upset Steve because I bought all these old Atlas or Athearn 282s, and quite a few of them had the Burlington route on them. Of course, I stripped them all off and made them C&EI. That upset Steve a little bit. But
You know
Steve,
how
see
hard it
now,
is. You know how hard it is to find Burlington steam locomotives.
about as hard as it is to find
Oh,
C&EI
I found
steam
one.
locomotive.
Yeah, of
But
course you did, Lynn.
But now I'll tell you, Steve, if I find any more, I won't be stripping them anymore and changing them because I got plenty of spare tender covers and cabs. So if anybody ever needs a cab or a tender top for a 282 Athearn, let me know because I got about 10 of them over there. I bought two lots, so, but that was after I'd already stripped all the Burlingtons.
With this one, I went to this lady's house. Now,
Sacrilege.
she calls me. I'm in Montana at Ron's place in Billings. So I told her it's going to be a while. I'll get in touch with when I get back. So she goes, I just want to get rid of it. Now, when I hear this, I'm hearing like zero.
Yeah.
When I get to her house, she goes, somebody was over the other day doing some work and they saw the stuff and they go, it's worth something. You should sell it, not give it away. Oh, thanks.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Gee.
So I did her the favor. I went through. She had a lot of the stuff was junk. She had a lot of the stuff like this that was nice. And then she had some stuff of her husband's that he had bought, was still in the packages, track, cork, all like that. A lot of Digitrack stuff. And I put this pile. I go, this is the stuff you want to sell. And I said, I'm not going to help you sell it. I'm not going to get into that. I said, get somebody that knows how to do eBay or one of those. I said, that you can get some money out of. This other stuff, and this stuff over here is trash. I don't even want to take it with me. It's junk. You know what I mean? It was old broken plastic buildings and stuff like that. But this and I cleaned the room up the other day because the club came over. There was a whole box, and that was some of the stuff that you saw that went to Jason, the train freak. That was all Woodland Scenics. And I set the box over to one side, and I had some train engines, but I've got them sent out for chips. So I can't share those today. But I said, I'll take these over here. I'll take this. And how does $20 sound? And I held out a $20 bill. And she goes, okay, all right. Wasn't trying to take advantage of her, but she had me drive, half hour out into the desert and try to find this place on a dirt road and then tell me everything was for sale. And I did her a favor of showing her what was really worth something. So I didn't feel too bad about it. But this one, I guess it looked nice. It's not, it doesn't break. It came apart. It looked good. And if somebody really wants it, this guy, which corner? This corner, yeah. Waving his hands. Yeah. We'll start looking for a box. I got a couple of boxes. I got this big box at the end scale. I got to show you the box.
I'll send you the postage.
Yeah, I bet you will, Steve.
Hell yeah. Oh.
Okay, you know how big an end scale is. Well, this is the box that I originally picked out to send the end scale in. That's like the one I showed folded down there. Yeah. This is the box that it came in. an N scale with
They
all
they
kinds of
want they
paper.
wanted you to make sure it was safe.
I guess so. So I thought I got my HO Rio Grande RS3. I was all jazzed about it, and then open it up and it keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And I mean, this thing was only about 1.5 inches long in that great
Uh,
big box.
gee,
Well,
yeah.
do we want to go through my update or do we want to go through my mail call?
Your choice.
Yeah.
Hey,
Let's
Be
give it a
Robert.
good.
show. Yeah, and
The
Andy popped in, and let's see who else.
Robert got here, the Flying Crow.
Yeah. Well, you'd
So,
mentioned him, so.
we can kind of. I'll go through the mail call stuff first because I can always do update as a video later if necessary. The first thing, I'm out in the garage and it's springtime, and in Oklahoma it'll start to warm up here really quick. So what I am anticipating doing is, hang on a second there. I want that one, and I want that one. Okay. And what I'm anticipating doing is putting a fan up there. All right. And have it on a smart switch and everything. So that's what my wife and I were out the other day, and we went to Ollie's. Now, for those of you who don't know what
Mhm.
Ollie's is, it's like a Big Lots. And they had these fans that I will turn upside down and mount like that on the ceiling up there.
If you mount it upside down, is it going to blow backwards?
Only if I mount it in reverse.
Okay.
So that is a valid point, Lynn. If I mount it backwards, it'll be blowing the wrong way. So anyway, that was the first thing that I did, and but then I have all kinds of other packages. Now, first one, and I already opened and got into it, but I bought two, mind you, out of these GoPro knockoff cameras from eBay.
Mhm.
All right, and I had one on Retirement Railroad 1.0, and the USB connection went bad on it, but it has a good picture, and it hooks up, and anyway, it comes with all kinds of accessories.
Mhm.
Even it comes in an underwater case, so you can use it underwater.
Steve, if you don't mind, why don't you make yourself larger so we can see what you have there a little better?
Yes.
I could probably do
You don't
that.
have to, but
I could do that. Okay. Anyway,
That's much better.
anyway, it comes in an underwater case, and there's all kinds of mounting attachments. But I bought two of them, two, and just to show you, I opened it up early and actually hooked one of the cameras up, and that's the camera.
Oh, that's good.
Mhm.
There.
That is good.
I've adjusted I found out what. Yeah, let's go to this camera. If we wait, see how it does that little flicker? I found out what causes that. It's Windows 11 does not support. Thus, there is no driver for this style of a camera. All right. So what I can do is go into the properties and and adjust the lighting and contrast just a tad. And I'm trying to get it right. Anyway, here or there, I don't want to mess with it, but I can typically get that flicker out. But what I've done on this camera is I've adjusted the color, the brightness a little bit. I can back that down. And for whatever reason, it's given it a little bit of a red tint. So I can back the red down a tad and get it like that. Okay. So, I mean, that's the picture off of this camera. And they're cheap. They're only like $29. So,
and they're GoPro knockoffs?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're on eBay, and I'll look for it later, but I'll add the link to it in the description.
Okay, good.
Afterwards. So for anybody that's interested, I've put it up before. I've shown them. So anyway, so that was one of the items I got. Actually, two. I bought two of them. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 4 more items here as well. And I haven't opened any of these up, so yeah, I don't know. Don't necessarily know.
And don't do a Heath. Take an hour to open a box.
It's
Well, these are bags.
Bag. Okay. Yeah, that'll be a little easier for you. But Heath would take 45 minutes to open that.
Well, but there's a box in the bag. So, okay. Some of you may recall Rick, the tree, put together a USB power supply. Does anybody remember watching that?
I don't think I saw that.
Anyway, he got some plugs, USB, what's that, power plugs that you plug USB cables and stuff into, and then he put a power supply to it. Anyway, he made this power supply box. Anyway, so I decided that you may recall from Retirement Railroad 1.0, I had this little tray that my, let me go get it. That my tablet would sit on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And my throttle. We'll get the why I use the tablet here in a minute. But anyway, so I made it back in Florida. I made a tray that the tablet would sit on, and a throttle would sit on, and it would let's go back to this picture again. Where's that picture? Okay, so this camera. And what would happen is, if I don't get in the way, the tray or shelf would sit and clip on the side of the layout, so I wouldn't have to carry the tablet and throttle around. It would be right there, and I could move it and so forth. Well, I've got to make a new one for here, and what I thought I would do is make it where I would have a power supply plugs that the tablet and phone could plug into on the tray, and then have a power supply that plugged into the tray to feed power to it. Okay. And in that fashion, during an operating session, I wouldn't have to worry about the battery on the phone, the throttle, or the phone going bad.
Yeah, because you never had that happen to you while we had running sessions.
No, never, ever, ever.
Yeah, never ever. Yeah,
With a train going
with the train
uncontrolled.
going. Yeah, yes, never.
So anyway, getting back to the box. Now that we've gone through that Heath style explanation, I bought a 2-pack of this. All right. And you open it up. It's got a little blue indicator light. And you can plug two things onto it.
Yeah.
So on the tray, on the bottom of the tray, I'm going to put this up through the bottom. And the leads coming around and being available to plug into whatever's on the tray. And then I have the jacks and power supply to be able to hook up to this to plug in and go. But anyway, they come as a 2-pack. So I got 2 of them. And they're fairly cheap. They're like $12, $13, something like that. So just another project yet to come. Not like I don't have a ton of projects to do.
Oh, I know. I'm the same way. I got projects
But
galore.
as Charlie Bishop would say, so I can be a butterfly and fly between this project and that project and so forth and so on. So that was the next one. Let's see, this box, I don't remember what it is. Trying to keep view of the chat as well. All right, so what's in this box? Looks about like the size of a locomotive, right? But it's not. This, ooh, hey, that's pretty cool. Huh. Wow, that's cool. It's a 30 gauge wire. You know, I've got 22 gauge, but I didn't have any real fine wire. I really wanted 36 gauge, but the one place that I saw that had it, TCS, you know, the Wow Sound folks, they didn't have it. They had it advertised, but they didn't have it. So anyway, at least not like they said on the website. And then it came with this little thing, which looks like a stripping tool.
Hold that up again. Oh, yeah. Huh.
That's different.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like this. So anyway, cool. This is just one of those supply, not something I needed, just something, you know, when I see things that I need for supplies, eventually I'll get to a project, and I don't want to get to a project and start to get into it and not have what I need. So
yeah, but the only problem with that, Steve, is I've done basically the same thing, but then I can't remember where I stored it.
I was thinking the same thing. Yes. Yes.
But at the other bench, I have plenty of places
To hide it.
Well, not to hide it. Everything, for the most part, is in view. You know, it's on pegboard and shelves and all that kind of stuff. So I shouldn't lose this. Anyway, no, famous last words, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, let's go this one.
It's just like me finding my DCC hookup stuff.
Yes.
I know it's someplace, but
But you can't
it's
find
not
it.
where I've looked. And it will be the last place I look, I'm sure of that.
Now, in this bag, holy cow. There's 3 more bags.
Yeah, JD
Really?
says, never put anything in a safe place. You'll never find it. Haha.
So true. So
Yes,
true.
it is.
My wife
All
did
right,
her
now.
son's Rolex watch, I don't know, before I met her, and she still hasn't figured out where she put it.
Holy cow.
Uh, maybe you need to move, Lynn, to actually find it.
Now inside
That's a
one of
scary
the
thought.
inside one of the 3 internal bags is a box. So what's in the box? Ta-da! Another bag. But it's people.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, you need more people.
Well,
Well,
these are
maybe
all
n-
sitting. These are all sitting people, and they're for the bi-level gallery commuter
train.
car.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and keep in mind, there's 3 of these. I think there's 60 per bag. So,
So you need like 3 bags for the commuter cars.
yeah. Well, between the commuter car and the coach that's in front of it, because the other commuter cars all have people in them already. I just never did these.
Mm.
And these were supposed to be the well painted ones, so I didn't have to screw
Yeah,
with them.
sure.
But even inside a gallery car, who's going to look, right?
Yeah, I know, but I still take my time and paint mine nice.
These aren't bad. These aren't bad. I'm going to have to amputate all the feet.
Yeah. Heck, putting some of those in my my cars, I've had to amputate more than their feet. I had to take some of them up to their hips just because they
It's not,
didn't fit.
Floyd, it's not the Long Island, it's the Rock Island. Rock Island. That one.
Have you
Close.
painted that, Steve? No, okay.
No, it's still the Rock Island.
Yeah, the yellow looked like it went down the whole side too, just in the way the
No,
camera
there's just,
shot
I think
is.
it's just, there's a yellow stripe down the side.
Yeah.
All right. So those are my 3 bags of people.
Yeah.
180 people. All right. And there's one more box. If I'm not mistaken, this is an eBay box. And I'm hoping, mind you, that it's not a Lynn McCurdy situation. Because I looked at this and I'm going, what I bought, I don't think is going to fit in this size box. So let's hope it's not in scale.
If not, Heath will be getting another box.
Could be. Could be. Speaking of Heath, now the reason for this purchase is something that came up on one of his live streams about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I have Heath to blame for this.
Blame Heath.
Yeah. Okay, it's what I thought, and it's the right size. And I already have one of these, but this is the one I have. Whoa, I'll be damned.
You want to say hi to Steve?
Who? Ah, who's that? What? I missed it.
We have a guest.
Where'd you guess?
Hi.
Hi. Heidi, hang on a second. Hang on. Doop, there you go.
Good
Hi.
Good
You
morning.
can't see us now.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be in there in a little bit to help you.
There's no solo. Put that there. Where'd you go? Oh, well.
Oh. Make everybody dizzy.
All right. There's actually two things in this box. Oh. Yeah. Hang on.
Sorry, my headset wasn't dead.
Nice.
Does look kind of nice there, doesn't it?
No, it looked terrible there, Lynn. Terrible.
Yeah, it just doesn't fit in. Okay, make me little.
All right, I will. Hang on. Okay, so we're back. Okay, so what? On his live stream, he was talking about switchers and being N scale. Keep alives aren't an option, but what he's thinking about doing is running consisted locomotives together. And I got to thinking about it on that small little layout running switchers. He doesn't need all that extra power. Why not use a dummy, all right, and put sound and a keep alive, with a in the dummy with a plug between it, and you'd get the extra pickups off of the extra engine. You could add pickups on the dummy and hook them together, and now you have plenty of pickup and also a keep alive, and all these different things, and nobody liked my idea. All right. Well, I kept thinking about that and thinking about that and thinking about that. And I'm going, I got this switching layout up here. I could do that. And I just happened to be looking at eBay the other day, last week. And I've always had an affection for SWs, 1000s, 1500s, whatever, 1200s. But the cow and calf, all right. This one came up on eBay, and this one's powered. This one's a dummy. The calf's a dummy,
Okay.
and it's got plastic wheels. But I could put 42-inch metal wheels in this thing in a heartbeat. All right, and actually, it looks like gear. It looks like it's got a gear tower. No, it doesn't. It's a dummy. Okay. But I can make this. Put some pickups on these wheels, and all of a sudden, this switcher, right, and a keep alive. Could you on these old blue boxes? Now I've got one of these already, and I've got a keep alive and a DCC chip in it, but no sound, right? Because there's no room. And I'm lucky to be able to get the DCC chip in there along with the keep alive. So this is just a project, and And for $40, hey, if it works, it works, right? If it doesn't, it doesn't. So I'm looking forward to doing
And what
that.
brand was that, Steve?
These are old Athearn Blue Box.
Why don't you look for one of those switchers? You could probably pick it up cheap and just change the shell over and have it
For
powered.
what?
I
don't want it powered.
Oh, you
I already
don't?
got one.
Okay.
I already got one.
No, I mean the calf powered.
Okay, where are you going to put a chip in this thing?
It can
There's
be
no
done.
cap.
You cut some weight out.
There's no weight. All right.
There is no
If you
weight
have
in there.
power, if you have a motor in here and you
Mhm.
have gear towers, there's no more room. I've got one a powered version. I've got another one of these already.
Never mind. I'm just making suggestions.
And the
You
only
never
place
like
you can
my
put
suggestions,
the
though.
only place you can put the chip is in the cab.
Mm.
That's the only room available in this thing. I know because I've done it. I'll get it. So I got the calf, and then here's the two powered units. This is the one that has the DCC chip and Keep Alive. And there is no extra room in here. None. All right.
Even for like an N-scale chip?
No. There's absolutely no more room. I don't know if you can look into that and see in there.
Yeah, I see your wires. Yeah.
You cannot see through it because there's the chip and Keep Alive. So that was the reason for the purchase, just to see what it would be like.
I don't know. You can put a chip and everything in just about anything if you want.
All right, let me, since nobody believes what I'm trying to tell you, let's take the calf apart.
You don't need to do that. We believe you.
They come apart easily. All right, now this is the calf. Okay, you put a motor in here. You put a motor in here, and then you put gear towers up there. All of a sudden, there is no room.
I'm still thinking an N-scale decoder on top of there, on top of the motor.
Okay.
No, but what you're saying, Steve, I'd go with that. I've also got a Coltrane of real GPs, and one of them is a dummy with sound.
I'm not worried about power in this thing.
Okay, then never mind.
I want sound.
Okay.
I want sound. The other one's powered. It's got a Keep Alive in it.
Mm-hmm.
I put sound in here. Put pickups and speakers in here.
I'm on the same page with Steve. Yes.
Okay.
That is the whole idea here.
Boy, ever since he got his teeth, he just doesn't want to listen. He wants to talk all the time.
Well, here's the deal. I mean, I appreciate the ideas and the input. I do, but I've tried everything that you've suggested, and it doesn't work.
Okay.
Right? Anyway, get this back together.
Yes.
So, anyway, that's just another project yet to do.
Yeah. And I've got so many projects. I'm falling behind on my mini prints now. I got some primed and ready to go, but I've been slacking on them lately because I've been working on the track so much.
Robert said, you get sound decoders with keep alives in them. He's done it.
John, you're slacking on your mini prints.
Yeah.
TCS made
boxes.
These are old Athearn blue boxes. So the motor is bigger than the current motors. And I've gone ahead and gotten Athearn smaller motor, and it still won't work right. Now TCS does have chips with keep alives in them, but I don't know if they have one for this that would fit in this or not. I know Digitracks and Soundtracks, it ain't gonna work.
Okay.
So not in the calf. Okay, and I can and have done the keep alive and chip in the other one of these, but I still want sound. Now this thing, I can put power pickups on the calf, and I can put some pretty decent sized speakers in here, wired back through a plug. So anyway, here nor there. Okay, so what have I been doing?
Yes, what have you been doing?
I've been doing all kinds of things. Hang on. The first thing, I've been doing a lot of JMRI stuff. I finished off the ballasting of the layout and ran checks. I had to do a couple fine tuning little areas on some pieces of track work where I may have nailed down a little too much, creating something like this, and I had to get it back up and just little stuff like that. And so it's all the track work's working good. I would say perfectly, but as soon as I fire this thing up, watch something will derail something by saying that. But then I've been working through on JMRI because my whole deal here is to be able to run off cell phone or remotely and be able to have a dispatcher remotely, being able to run, instead of doing hardwired switch panels, all right, being able to do them through JMRI, both on a touch screen like I have in front of me or on a tablet like I have here. So, I don't know why I just did that. It'll come back. And yeah, there it is. And so anyway, we've been working on JMRI and getting all my tables set up, etc. So after I open JMRI up, and here is my panel, okay, my switch panel. And when you first open it up, it looks like that. So then you can go to track power, all right, which is right, and turn track power on. And bingo, looks like Christmas. Now, here's the deal. This is not a normal application for everything of wiring, as an example, because I have incorporated in this, I have the motorman. Okay. So I've got electronic control of all the switches. I've got block detection. Plus I got a motorman. plus I have those switch indicator lights that I'm embedding in the track work. So all of that adds to the complication, but the whole purpose of this layout is proof of concept for a bigger layout. When I replace the shed I have, and if I go back here, and okay, so that's my backyard, my patio. And if I bring it up and hang on, bear with me, folks, bear with me. And where's my patio? There we go. I go here. I go there. There's the current shed.
Can you pan up a little bit?
I can.
Down a little bit. Looks like you need to work on your soffit there.
Oh, it needs a paint job big time. All right. Actually, there you go.
There you go.
And if I didn't zoom in, if I zoomed out, you could see it more. That's a 16 by 8 shed. I want a 12 by 24 over there. So eventually I will get to that. All right. So I want to go back to this one. Okay. And actually, I'll zoom that in some more. Bring that down. All right. So there's the panel as it exists when you fire it up. Now, and when you fire it up and everything comes up red, when you do track power, it turns everything to green except for the Zephyr track, which is the motorman can run that track. Now on the panel that I have on the fascia over here, I can switch. Right now it's in the off position. I can switch to motorman, or I can switch to normal. If I switch to normal, then it makes it just like the rest of the track. Everything turns to green except for the one section that is occupied currently with a locomotive. All right. And if I switch views to this, all right, you can see that the commuter train is sitting there. Okay. Now, if I switch it, all right, back to motorman, and I turn the motorman, that's in the off position. Notice that the lumber and, knocked over camera. The lumber and the reporter, which is a newspaper, those are both red as well. That is because they are on the same section of the BDL 168 as the Zephyr. So they're all controlled the same. Okay. When the Zephyr track is motorman's actually turned off and turned over to the normal operation, then everything is just like it was normally wired. But anyway, you're probably not understanding what word I'm saying, but trust me, it makes sense. At least to me, and it's my railroad. So if I turn the motorman on, the block detection does not work for the motorman, okay? Because it's only set up to work when it's in normal operation. What it is saying is, okay, that whole block, those 3 blocks that the motorman control actually for, are in fact occupied because they're occupied by the motorman. Okay? That's what the system is saying at this point. And so if I'm running the rest of the tracks in the normal mode, I can't use the Zephyr track because it's occupied with the motorman train, which is coming right there.
Yeah.
All right. That's the Rock Island car that Floyd likes. That will eventually be stripped and painted silver and decaled or decaled into CB&Q Burlington. All right. So that's how that is operating as the motor and how the panel is showing right now. Okay. Now, if I wait till it clears that motorman sensor, do, do. It's cleared that sensor. I am going to switch it over back to normal operation. And it's showing the Zephyr west side and centers being occupied. Centers being occupied by the lighted commuter car, the Rock Island car. Since it's lighted, it's drawing current, so therefore it's showing the occupied, and the engine's still back on the Zephyr west side.
Oh.
All right. Follow me so far?
Yes.
Now, when you get to this, all the switch controls are showing, when you fire it up, are showing as unknown right now. Okay. So I put a button in for default route. And what that does, if I lean in and press the touch screen, all right, and I press that, now it runs through all those switches and throws or puts them into the position that I want them in for default. Okay. So when you fire up the railroad, the first and in the normal operations, the first thing you do is you hit that button, and all the switches throw so that the three main lines are a through route. And the there it goes. You see that one red blinking? It's because the light on the commuter car lost contact for a second because it's on the switch. All right. So everybody following me so far?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Now, as I said before, I got the panel, and this panel is visible. Oh, hell. I just lost it. There. Oh, come on. Do.
Yes, JD. Happy kitty.
I lost contact for a second. Hang on. Hang on, Snoopy. Snoopy, hang on. Do. All right, come on. What I'm trying to show you is that diagram, the panel shows up on here as well. Here. And I've lost connection, so. Hang on. Now what?
Okay, Heath.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing, Lynn. JD says, well, we're waiting.
There we go. All right.
JD, he's ready now. Well, maybe. You know how
I'm
he
ready.
sort of gets ready to open the box, but then he digresses to something else again. It's about like that.
All right, there it is.
Hold it up a little higher. There you go.
All right. So I should be able to just press here, and it throws the switch. All right. And throws it back.
Yeah, I've got the one touch system too. It's called my finger.
I was going to say
Well,
over here.
Yeah.
the keep in mind, your finger's fine until it's not. You know,
Yeah.
if you can't reach something, or the reach is going to put structures or trains or whatever in a problem, in a compromising situation, or
Yeah, mine are all within reach from my edge of the board.
or if you're, well, yeah, but this isn't your layout.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true.
All right, and this is proof of concept for 3.0.
Okay.
And I can throw switches from the other end of the room. I can throw switches from a different room for if I'm running, let's say, a dispatcher.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The system's not for everybody, but I'm just trying to give you a pictorial of how it works and why for my situation. All right. You know, again, I like technology to a degree. Arduino still is a 4-letter word for me. But anyway, so that is the, and if I'm standing up here, all right, trying to reach to the back of the layout, it's not easy to do. All right. Therefore, having the switch panel on the fascia, only it's electronic instead of a hardwired panel, and I can move that tablet to other areas of the railroad, especially larger railroads. It just makes perfect sense.
I can see that, Steve. You're right, and my C&EI layout 3.0, if it ever gets there, I'll have them all on.
You know, your layout would be perfect for something like this, John. If you're on one side of your peninsula, excuse me, and you want something in the yard on the other side of the aisle on the other side of the peninsula, okay, you can't get to throw the switch. So you have to duck under once to get out and duck under again to get over. You know, you could run your whole railroad from one spot, right, without having to walk around. So anyway, it's
and I agree with you completely, Steve. The only problem is I didn't drill any holes for my turnouts for the rods, so I'd have to pull up every turnout I have to do it.
Yeah,
I just didn't,
you would.
I just didn't plan on doing it for this layout.
I'm going to bring up the engine Y throttle on my phone. All right. And I'm going to connect to 9916. All right. So now I have control on my throttle of the commuter train. And I hope. And I'm running manually, and you can see the occupied. Okay. Now I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna run it on over to the westbound track. All right. And now I'm going to back it over to the eastbound side. Okay. And now I can run it all the way down the eastbound, go westbound on the eastbound track. Now, all of this may not make a whole lot of sense. Like, why would I do that? Block detection on such a small let. This is proof of concept for what I want to do on 3.0. It gives me the familiarity and confidence of what I want to do can be done in the way I want to do it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I can see the train where it is right now up there, but most of the running I just did, the train is not within view. I was running the train based upon the block detection, right? And stopping and switching it over and so forth. So basically running it remotely without being able to see it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because if we go back and we look at
And you have your plexiglass up on the other end so you don't run off the end, right? Okay.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
If you look at let's switch to that.
Yeah, I see it there. Yeah.
If we look at this, all right, notice my head is well below track level.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yet I can run the train, at least the main, the commuter train, without having to watch it. All right. And that's the whole idea. That's what a dispatcher does. All right. They're typically in a separate room and throwing switches and based upon what the block detection. So that's why I wanted it for this. If this layout was down here, all right, it wouldn't be needed because I'd have everything right here in front of me, but it's up there.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, in addition to all of that, getting that panel working, now if I go back to what picture? Where'd it go? Oh, that's why. Let's go ding. And I go back here. The other thing I've been working on is in JMRI is besides this panel is setting up in JMRI those actual locations. All right. You got to have locations and you got to get your cards into all your rolling stock in the tables. Then you got to get routes identified. And after all that, you put in train, details leaving from here, going here, here, and here, and back. And so that's what I'm working on now. So hopefully by next Friday, I'll be able to show you JMRI in operation and doing some switching. Keep in mind, all these sidings have neodymium magnets for hands-free uncoupling or I won't say it's always hands-free because let's face it, it's not. But even with the high-powered magnets, when you're using a stick, all right, to uncouple, at least those magnets help assist and make it even easier when you're using an uncoupling tool. So that's everything I've been working on this week. Which is a bunch.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been a productive week. Last 2 weeks have been very productive.
Congratulate you, young guys.
Yeah. Well,
Young
we
guys.
haven't
Young
been
guys.
retired as long as you have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did.
Plus, we moved. We both moved.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
My Retirement Railroad 1.0 there in Florida. That was my first dwelling into DCC, and as much of a nest of wiring that was, and even this, it's nothing like, if I had to wire all these switches, I mean, they are wired.
Well,
but if I had to run from the switch motors all the way back to a panel to throw them, oh my God. You want to talk about a nest of wires? That would be. That's why, to me, it may sound complicated to use, a panel on a tablet, but in actuality, it is so much easier. Once you figure out how to do it, it's so much easier. So, anyway.
Yeah.
And will have a new video out in 35 minutes.
Cool.
Or thereabouts. All right. And they're always good to watch. You want to talk about if I've lost people on the technicalities of this, you go watch High and some of the accomplishments he's done. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
It is amazing to see all the stuff that he has done.
I get lost on some of his just run sessions. Cause I'm trying to see an engaged engine and train on a camera shot. Where? Let's see.
Get out the binoculars.
That doesn't help any. I really, I don't know
Hang
how
on.
you still work on that. Well, I got mine up over here.
Is that Highs?
Board.
That's a high.
Yeah, it's Highs.
Oh, okay. Cool. Cool beans.
We
Well,
sent
Steve,
stickers back and forth.
I've got a couple extra. Next time I send you a package, I'll send you one of Highs stickers.
Do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it.
I can do likewise. There's a train right here. We'll just put right on the train.
Oh, yeah, you got extras?
Yeah. He sent me a whole box of them. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I got a whole bunch too.
Because on my fascia here above me, that's what I want to do is put some stickers on it. So stickers and or signs and stuff. I got to find a place for my metal.
I think I've got one of those too. Yeah. I don't think I put it up yet though. So because I'm running
send me
out.
one of yours too, Lynn. I don't have any stickers, but eventually I will. But anyway, there's my stickers, all metal.
Hologram in that one, yeah.
Ooh, is that iridescent?
I don't know what they call it. It's all shiny.
Yeah. Because it changes colors, so it's.
Well, High, don't bother sending one across the pond. That gets expensive. If Lynn and or John have one, an extra one, they can get it to me. All right. So that's not a problem. I appreciate it though. Let them do it. So.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, guys, I think that kind of wraps us up for today.
Is this a new?
I hope I didn't. No, last week was
Oh, okay.
for
Yeah, it was pretty long.
since moving here.
Yeah.
So, live from Oklahoma. I won't play the song with my new. Well, hang on a second. Well, hang on a second. Let's get bigger. With my new teeth.
Yes.
Couldn't help myself. Let's go back to that one. All right. Hey, everybody. All three of us, we want to thank you all for joining us here at the Retirement Railroad 2.0. All right. Had a lot of fun. Hope it didn't bore everybody with my technicalities of what I've been working on. But I, at some point, got to figure out which project is next because I got about 5 of them laid out here in front of me. So,
Yeah.
and
Well, I was gonna
sure is a
spray
mess.
paint my prime my buildings today, but the wind's blowing at about 45 miles an hour, so I don't think I'll be doing that outside. I have to get my spray booth, but I want to get these.
Well,
primed.
Joe, have you been ghosting us, Joe? All right, I didn't see you come in. Well,
I
thank
think
you.
you just did.
Well, that's his first post.
Well, okay. I was gonna say I hadn't seen his post. Yeah, he just came
Anyway,
in. Yeah.
he said, "Yep." No,
Yeah.
the yep is he's been ghosting us.
Oh.
He's
okay.
been here. He's been here.
Yeah.
He knows. There we go. See there.
Yeah.
All right.
Hiding.
I
in
do
there.
that a lot too. Too. If I'm busy, I do that on highs a lot. A lot of people's.
Do the same.
Yes.
So anyway,
Well, very good.
with that, again, guys, I want to thank you all for joining us. Have a great. Oh, by the way, there is a train show here in Oklahoma City this weekend at the fairgrounds, the Pavilion building in the fairgrounds. Festival of Trains is the name of it. It's $15 to get in.
Oh
But,
my word.
Yeah, they justify it because they got a ventriloquist and they got kiddie train rides and
Hope they
all
have
this other
beer.
stuff. Yeah, but it's probably $15 a beer too.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So anyway, but I'll be down there tomorrow, and if I can get it to work, if I can find a hot spot and can get it to work, I'll try to do a live broadcast from there. I probably won't go until after the Saturday morning guys. Was it Back on Track? Until after those guys are done or thereabouts.
Very good.
So,
Yeah.
anyway, with that, again, y'all have a great day. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
All right.